Everything that I'm teaching you, the source of it comes from Home Sweet Home. It's the home that I opened up. I took kids in without any knowledge of the sugya, of understanding, without any training. By the way, not a smart thing to do. Don't decide to open up. And everywhere I went to, one of the things that I did was I went to speak to as many people as I could. This is about 20 years ago. There were people already who knew for 5-6 years. And I went to speak to them. And most of them really just simply laughed me out of the room. I remember I went to our place, and there were some volunteers there, and they were sitting on a couch, 2 volunteers, and one guy was standing, and Moshe Binnick, Zechron Livracha, who opened our place, from Moshe's, what's it called, Moshe's Grocery. He was there. And I started saying, I want to open a home, I want to take kids off the street, and I want to give them a life and tell them, forget the drugs and stop drinking, and I'm going to give you a good life, and you're going to save up money, and everything's going to be great. And they were making fun of me and laughing. And Moshe was sitting on the couch, and he went like this. He moved up to the edge of the couch. Keep talking, keep talking. He was a visionary. He saw a vision. Keep talking. And then he asked me, what do you need from me? I said, I want you to come take a look at the house. I'll be there tomorrow. He came the next day at 10:30. He looked around. He said, wow. He donated the groceries for the house. He was a tzaddik, right? And everything that I learned from there. One of the points that I brought out today is very, very important. When is it that you can do a deep surgery on the nefesh ha'adam, nefesh ha'yeled, and to start fixing the child who is broken? And I told you, when they fail. Of course, everybody's used to, your kid does well, you give him a compliment, right? But what happens when they fail? So this is what happened. All the kids, to get into Home Sweet Home, had to be kids who break rules. I mean, that was the bechina. In order to get in, you had to break rules. Otherwise, they'd be in yeshiva. Otherwise, they'd be working. Otherwise, they'd be successful. These were kids, many of them were homeless. Many of them lived on the street. One kid lived in a truck. And of course, I expected them to break rules. But here is where I did the chinuch, the education, and where I really did, by accident, siyata d'shmaya, where I repaired souls. The first rule of the house was, you can't lift your arm, you can't hit somebody else. You can't have that, because you have wild kids, it's going to be crazy. So I told them, no lifting a hand, no hitting. Boy number 1 hit boy number 2. Now, he was provoked, but I can't judge, if somebody provokes somebody, you shouldn't say it, how much it hurts. And this kid was a very rebellious kid. He was thrown out of everywhere. He was thrown out of rehabs. One of the rehabs, as he left, he took a chair and he threw it at the people there and broke a window. I mean, these were rebellious kids. And he went ahead and he punched boy number 2. So I went to the house, spoke to him. I said, I'm sorry, the rule is you can't hit. So what was his reaction? Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. I really need this place? No. His reaction was, F you, I don't need this place. You think I need this? He told me, I can go to any AA meeting, and I raised my hand, I need a place to stay. I was staying on a couch at these people. I don't need you. He was cursing me, cursing everything. A lesson also. When someone's cursing you, none of what they're saying is true. He desperately needed Home Sweet Home. And the proof is, a year later, he walked out stable, clean, frum. He's lechtig, he's amazing. He brings me so much nachas. He's married, he has kids. He's so strong, he's so great. Yes, he needed it, but they're not going to say that. They're not going to be machnia. Power and control doesn't work. The last people who tried was communist Russia. Didn't work out very well for them either. So here I told him, listen, I'm sorry, but you can't stay here. F you, I don't need this effing place, blah, blah, blah. And he went to take his knapsack of stuff. I said, hang on one second. You can't stay here in Home Sweet Home, but you're not done with me. Come to my house. What? Which Rosh Yeshiva throws a kid out of the yeshiva and says, but you can move into my house? Says, sure, you can't stay here, but you're not out of my life. I believe in you. So come move into my house. We put him in the guest presidential suite. It's a nice name. It doesn't look so presidential, but... And no problem. Continue going to work in the morning. When you come home, come to my house. We'll go out to eat at night. We'll have a good time. I had people, some of the volunteers challenged me. How's he going to learn a lesson? These kids have learned so many lessons. And the lesson that they learn is that society is not for me. I'll never fit in. I'm a rebel. I'm a rebel. And then they could steal and they could do all kinds of terrible things. I taught them a different lesson. No matter what happens, I'm not letting go of you. After a few days in my house, he said, Avi, I want to go back to the house. I said, okay, you have to apologize to him and you move in. Please don't do it again. The way to fix broken souls is when they mess up and they expect you to say, get out of my house, I'm done with you. You're at that point, you're going into Kodesh Kadoshim, you're going into Pnimi, you're going deeper. If everything is going on Mei Menucha is nice and calm, you can't make a tikkun. You can't sew up the broken internal pain of a child as much as when they mess up. And one of the biggest times is when they steal a car on Friday night, which is something that they do, and for some reason a lot of accidents happen on Friday night, and they bash up the car, and one father says, that's it, I'm done with you, you stole my car, you bashed up my car on Friday night, you're done. And the other one says, I'm only concerned that you're okay. You're okay? Don't worry about the car. The car will fix the most thing. The only thing I'm concerned about is you're okay. Baruch Hashem, you're okay. What a difference in the future of that child. One becomes homeless, becomes an enemy of the state, becomes somebody who wants to burn down everything. And the other one is like, wow, you didn't give up on me. We almost wait and we almost pray for disaster to hit. Recently we had here with a family a real disaster. And it's really bad. I don't even want to share it. And I told them, your child is so far, is so dysfunctional, is so messed up. It could be Hashem sent this tremendously painful disaster because now you can have access to the deepest, deepest part of this child to show him, even so, I'm not giving up on you. Says the Nesiv Shalom, Ahavosai liyisbarach liyisrael. The love that Hashem has for Klal Yisrael is ahava she'ena tluya b'davar, is unconditional. It's not talui in anything. Ve'ena b'teilu la'olam. In fact, he says, why did we have to get rescued at Memtesh Shari Tuma? We were almost on Shar Nun. Why? B'chipazayin. Hashem had to get us out quickly because otherwise we would have been lost. Why? Why didn't you do a little earlier planning? Hashem should have looked at the calendar, realized, Memchesh Shari Tuma, let's get them out of here. The answer is because if Hashem would have rescued us on the Chaf Shari Tuma, what would we know? We would know that Hashem is willing to tolerate us and care for us until Chaf Shari Tuma. But after that, no way. Hashem wanted to show us, I'm always willing to tolerate you. So he waited until the last second. And at that moment he said, B'ni b'chayri Yisrael, lo hidia, to teach us so we should know today, in our dar, that no matter what you do, no matter where you are, Avasa Yisbarach li Yisrael is ahava she'ena tluya b'davar ve'ena b'teila la'olam. That was the message, and that's why Hashem waited. And says in the Nesiv Shalom, and that's why we say twice a day, we talk about Yitzias Mitzrayim. Every Shabbos Kiddush, every Yontif Kiddush, Zeichel Yitzias Mitzrayim. Why do we keep on remembering Yitzias Mitzrayim? Why do we constantly have to say in Shema, Zeichel Yitzias Mitzrayim? We talk about Yitzias Mitzrayim as if it's, what's the message? Says the Nesiv Shalom, the message is every morning and every night in darkness. At every moment of our life, the message has to be, remember Yitzias Mitzrayim. You're not worse than they were then. I rescued them then with oisais umoifsim, with care, with love. I will do the same for you today. That's what we have to remember, never to give up, never to think that Hashem abandoned us. And this is what you evoke as parents when you give that message to your child, when you teach this to your child when they mess up and you say, I'm not going anywhere. I'm never abandoning you. I'm never leaving you. I'm never trading you in. I'm never going to stop believing in your goodness. In the time of crisis is when you have the greatest amount of healing.